Game day, baby. Football Monday. Eagles invade Arrowhead. Whew. One of the absolutely greatest stadiums in all of professional football and football in America. I've been there. It's a really unbelievable place. Loud. I love the tomahawk chop. Sorry, Wokers. I love the whole scenario that they have there. It's kind of like Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City. You know what I mean? Like Buffalo, New England, Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? I just love that place. I love everything about that fan base too. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I mean, but I love how they're kind of like what they do up at Green Bay with Lambeau. Okay? I love it. I love it. I just think this is really a great night of football. You know, I think tonight two teams are trying to do something. Someone help me out here on this. Would it be the first time in 30 years that two teams that played in the Super Bowl are trying to get back? Why? It just crossed my mind now. Am I right when I say this? It was the 92-93 Cowboys and Bills. Does that sound right? Cowboys and Bills went back to back after like playing against one another. They went back to the Super Bowl again. I think it's that. I could be wrong. But, I mean, the two teams trying to do something that we haven't seen in a couple decades. It's pretty remarkable. It shows you, quite frankly, how hard it is to win in that league. It really is, man. I mean, great weekend in the NFL, too. Week 11 will come to a conclusion tonight. Then we got the turkey games on Thursday. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Can't wait to get into this game. I'm going to give you my takeaway right at the top here. Now, let me do this to you before we start. If you had to win a football game between Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, because that's kind of what we have tonight. It's Hurts and Mahomes. Who would you take? Can you bet against Mahomes? And I know you want to make the case for Jalen. But by the way, is there any quarterback in the NFL you would take over Mahomes? Senior goes Hurts. Let's take a look at that. Two-time Super Bowl MVP, two-time Super Bowl most valuable player, 2016 Offensive Player of the Year, six-time Pro Bowler, Sports Illustrated Person of the Year in 2020, Burt Bell Award, 5 straight AFC title games, all-time passer rating, 104.8 NFL record, playoffs, 107.4. Jalen, Super Bowl appearance, Pro Bowler, Burt Bell Award. Who would you take if you had to win a Super Bowl or a game? Mahomes, who's 10-0 in November in his career. Do you know that? He's never lost a game in November at home. I'll ask you this. He's never lost a football game in November. You can make all the cases you want here. Who's the better team? I think Philly. Well, I don't know that yet because we're going to get into it. Who has the better offense? I think it's not close, really. It's the Eagles. Okay? Not this BS topic again? Why? There's two guys playing against each other tonight. Danilo, what? Why is it a BS topic? We're not talking about Kansas City playing the Chargers or the Eagles playing the Giants. It's Kansas City versus Philadelphia tonight. BS, that's the game. That's who's playing tonight. He's got to go into Kansas City and win. By the way, let's do this. There's nothing Jalen Hurts can do today in a regular season football game that will erase the fact that Mahomes will be, at the beginning of this, the best quarterback in the league. And even if he loses, the best quarterback in the league. That resume, now, maybe over time, he could start filling out more of these over here, and he can catch up, yes. And, oh, by the way, he's 28 years old. I think what he's accomplished at the age of 28 is pretty remarkable. Okay? Let's get into the game. Had the whole weekend. No, this is a game tonight between the Chiefs and Eagles and Hurts and Mahomes and Andy Reid and Nick Sirianni. Let's not overthink this. You tried to overthink it in the Super Bowl 9 months ago. You got beat. Let's not overthink this. Let's take a look at it. Eagles face a quarterback who's 45-10 at home all time. Playoffs and regular season. He's 10-0, as I said, in the month of November. Arrowhead has been very good to Patrick Mahomes and to the Kansas City Chiefs. Reid is 12-3 overall with the Chiefs as a head coach coming out of the bye. And by the way, the Super Bowl winner in a rematch the following year that they play are 8-2 versus the team they played in the Super Bowl. Eagles have a 3-game win streak heading into this game in Kansas City, and they're underdogs. Eagles offense is third in scoring. Actually, if you think about it, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, Tone, but if you want to really look at what's happened, and I like to say trends are 3 games, how about this little nugget here? Jalen Hurts over the last 3 games, I believe, has scored 10 touchdowns total. It's pretty impressive. Okay? 10 touchdowns in 3 games, 3 straight games. Okay? Billy Ray. Mahomes never lost to Denver either. Then he did. Okay. I'm talking about a guy who's never been beaten at home and is 45-10 and is the 2-time Super Bowl champion and the reigning Super Bowl MVP and league MVP. Okay? Great. By the way, that Denver loss doesn't look that bad now. They're 5-5. Chiefs defense, top 5. I see the Niners circus came to play in the chat today. We'll talk about them a little later on. I'm here on Eagles and Chiefs right now. Here's the Chiefs defense, top 5. Points allowed. Yards per game. And only allowed 15 total touchdowns so far this NFL season. They've only allowed 15 TDs. They're one of the best defenses in points allowed this year. Get this, I don't really believe that Mahomes has been spectacular. But he's top 5 in passing yards, passing touchdowns, and he really hasn't been spectacular. Here's the problem, though, with the team, and I'm talking KC. Chiefs run defense. And the 2 losses have given up 135.5 yards to an opponent in those losses. And surrendered in the air 168.5. Well, when you're putting up nearly 140 yards rushing on your defense and your run defense, you really don't like the Super Bowl showed you. You really don't have to throw the ball a lot. That's why in the 2 games that Mahomes has beaten the Eagles in back-to-back seasons, they've run the ball at 175 yards a clip, averaging both games. They haven't had to throw the ball. Low percentage turnover plays is running the ball. Patrick Mahomes in those games didn't have to. He doesn't have to throw for 350 yards. In a football team that's traditionally hanging around 20th in run offense, they average 175 yards a game on you. 40 degrees and rainy tonight. Get ready for Stoutland run game. I think that is something, Big Fish. Tell you what, that is something. Because to what Big Fish just said, okay? KC's pass offense versus the Eagles' pass defense, Philly's run game. Danelle, thank you so much. Niners Soft Glove, you big sales. Hey, who said that about the referee and new commissioner? Relax in there, man. Hey, Joey, relax. I'll get to that later. Hey, Big Sills, just want to say that your segment with Tone is my favorite thing. Me too. Love it too, my friend. That'll be at 3:30. Gary Cobb at 4:30, Fox NFL Philadelphia. We will talk with him, Fox 29, as they get ready for that game tonight. And he'll be doing a pre- and post-game show tonight for Fox 29, but he'll start it out with us here. Coaches are superior on the Kansas City side. Listen, don't debate that. Don't debate Nick Sirianni, Andy Reid, and Steve Spagnuolo. But then again, it's not a rip on Sean Desai or Brian Johnson or Nick. Dude, it's like comparing Nick to Mike Tomlin or Nick to Pete Carroll. This comes down to the Jimmies and Joes. If you've got the guy under center, you're going to win games with elite coaches. Those coaches never change who they are. It's the talent around them that changes. Okay? You're not going to ever compare Nick Sirianni with Andy Reid. Stop it. Andy Reid will go down as one of the greatest head football coaches in pro football history. Sirianni has done nothing that other coaches haven't done in this league with a great start to their coaching career. Matt LaFleur is a great example of it. Matt LaFleur's first 3 years, he was 39-9. 39-9. You think he's a great coach in Green Bay? Or was it Aaron Rodgers in him? As a matter of fact, that guy got out to a better start than Nick. He had 3 years in a row with 13 wins. Would you confuse that guy with one of the better coaches in the league? We got to a Super Bowl. Great, so did Kyle Shanahan. We're still waiting on Shanahan. We're still waiting on Kyle Shanahan. It's funny. He didn't get to a Super Bowl. You actually think Nick Sirianni's a better head coach than John Harbaugh? Do you? No. He's not better. Oh, he's won one, but your guy. Or how about the guy in Los Angeles? Sean McVay. Sean McVay is still to this day the youngest head coach in the NFL. Do you know that? No, you know what? DeMeco Ryans may be, he might be, I don't know. He might be younger. I think McVay, is he 40 yet? Is Sean McVay 40? I don't even know. Is Sean McVay 40? The guy who's won 2 NFC titles and a Super Bowl. Is he 40 yet? Holy shit. Tone just told me Sean McVay's 37 years old. So he's younger than Nick. The point is, it's what Tone says all the time. Your record is not ever going to be indicative of who you are as a coach unless you punch your ticket. And that's a Super Bowl win. Because that validates it. And then actually, it doesn't validate your win record. Dick Vermeil's got a .526 win percentage. You think that Nick is a better coach than Dick? I don't. I mean, look, this is really not a debate here about coaching. It's about trying to compare yourself to a guy like Andy Reid. Dude, the only guy in this league that can compare himself to Andy Reid is really the guy in New England. Okay? But when you hear people, our channel, local radio guys, saying that Sirianni is the best coach in the NFC, I think you got to win one before you can make those arguments. I don't think you can just win regular season ball games because then you know who you are. You're the Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins of coaching. You got to win that thing. More so for coaches. This is a big game for Nick tonight. I'll tell you why. Nick takes his coaching staff in there like Dan Campbell did. I'll tell you this, that Dan Campbell win in Kansas City on banner night or ring night, whatever it was, pretty impressive in the opener. And I know they didn't have Jones and Kelsey in that game. I get it. Fans who say Hurts outplayed Mahomes are wrong. He had more spectacular plays, but Pat played more efficiently, mistake-free. Great stuff as always. Hello, DC, I'll say this to you. He had the kind of game that Jalen had against Dak. Jalen made the big plays in that Dallas game. Dak couldn't. So what's the Eagles' plan to win this game tonight? I'm going to get to that. I'm going to say this tonight. After careful consideration, Kansas City's unbeatable at home. I got the Chiefs winning tonight, 24-21. I don't think you're going into Kansas City and winning that ball game. I just don't. You haven't proven it yet. And you could sit around and talk about maybes, ifs, what you can, who he is, who you think he is, what will he do. The fact is, you haven't done it yet. And you haven't accomplished it yet. And you've had 2 cracks at him. And they've beaten you different ways. Actually, one way. They've outrun you. Kansas City at home, the points are different. They score more at home. They give up less at home. They're almost unbeatable. Well, Mahomes is unbeatable in the month of November. He's unbeatable. He's never lost a game in Kansas City in the month of November. Ever. He's 45-10. Regular season and postseason. He outplays you in the fourth quarter when it counted the most with lesser talent. See, you look at the talent on your team and you still can't come to grips with your Super Bowl 57 loss. You got the same talent. Nothing's different. I don't think you've closed the gap. I think it's widened because KC's defense got better. Mahomes doesn't have to be spectacular. Jalen does. Similar score as you, Sills. 40-20, Eagles win. That's not a similar score. I got 24-21. Kansas City winning the game. No, Joho, I thought about it because I started looking at how well they play at home and how well they play in the weather at home. Now, I do think this game is going to be closer now. Now, here, personally, I don't think you're going to get the run game going. Why would I think that? You haven't. If Hurts runs the ball tonight, And there's RPOs in that game like they had in the first half of that Super Bowl. Eagles have a tremendous shot of winning that game, but I don't believe they're going to do that. They really haven't done it all year. They're not trying to do that anymore. They kind of gotten away from what they do. Once Hurts left the run game, you don't really have a power run game anymore. Nor do you have a red zone offense, really. It's gotten better. I think your defense, and I think I'm seeing a little bit more volume and getting back and getting home from the Eagles. I think it's ticked up, especially what they did in the Dallas game. But it's KC at home. You haven't beaten them. You haven't beaten them at your place and a neutral site. Why would I think you're going to go into Kansas City and win? Give me a reason. Give me a factual reason that you think you're going to go into Kansas City where they've pretty much beaten you at neutral sites and on the road. That you're going to go into a place where they play exceptionally well. Give me one reason why I'll land on it. And I'll go, oh, okay, you're right. Weather? Well, that means they're going to run the ball. I don't believe they will. I don't believe it. I want to see it. They have Jalen Hurts is your running game. Okay? Give me one reason that the Eagles win tonight. Because Jalen's a star? I'm sorry, you're going to bet against the best guy on the planet. Jalen's got a fine resume. But you're going against the best. If this was in Lincoln Financial, I'll probably go Eagles. There's a reason the guys in Vegas think Kansas City's going to win. This has got to be one of the only games, too, I think that. When's the last time the Eagles were like underdogs? Were they favored in the Super Bowl by a point? Weren't they favored by 1.5 in the Super Bowl? Get this. So I think weren't you guys favored in the Super Bowl? So you've gone from being favorites going into Super Bowl 57 to a 2.5 point dog. Is that right? Huh. Even the guys in Vegas think the gap's widened. I just said, Prince, 24-21 Chiefs. Yes. Give me one reason where you think you're going to outmatch them that you couldn't do in the Super Bowl. One reason, I'll take it. I'm not kidding you. I'm not baiting you. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm just asking you. Help me out here. Help me out. Eagles run defense? That's what I said. KC's pass offense versus the Eagles pass defense. Philly's run game, where I don't think you have one right now. And the Chiefs' suspect run defense. Yes. Personally, I think Jalen has to throw for 165 yards tonight in the rain, but they won't do that. They'll want to put him on display. And they'll play right into the hands of Steve Spagnuolo. Because they'll want him to be out there on display. If Jalen Hurts throws for 300 yards, the Eagles will lose. That's what I see. Because that means they went away from something that Kansas City does poorly. That's run the ball against them and their run defense. You're going to go against a football team that doesn't give points up, plays pretty good in the secondary, and you're going to counter what they don't do well, and that is play run defense. Why would you do that? Remember what I told you about the least amount of resistance and how you want to get home? That's why most teams today, you know what they do? They don't try to establish the run against the Eagles. That's why you're the worst team in giving up first downs, and most teams are you're the worst team on first down this year because you surrender the most. Teams don't go in it going, hey, let's run at Jordan Davis and Jordan and Jalen Carter. They try to just get enough to get their beak wet so that play action and trying to keep the linebackers home, and then they attack your secondary. Beating the Eagles is in the secondary. It's not run defense. Why would I try to establish the run against Philly when you can't defend the pass? That is what's happened. Again, this isn't early in the season conversation any longer. Everything I'm telling you right now is who you are and how teams have attacked you. Okay? That's how they're going to. To me, I think they're going to try to get that run game going because they've had success and they want to check it out. And they want to see if you're going to be able in those linebackers. You see, you don't have the linebacking core that you had a year ago. They're nowhere near those guys as tacklers. You've got to downgrade at your linebacker position. They stabilized it. But they're not Kaiser White. Kaiser White and TJ Edwards, those guys had over 300 tackles combined. You don't have anything nearly of that. They're playing better. I've said that to you. They're playing better. Okay? Okay? They're playing better. So, end of the day here, I would say this to you. I would say this. The Eagles have to score first. So I would want the ball. I wouldn't want to be on defense. I wouldn't want to get Mahomes to get a lead on you. I'd want to, but then again, I don't know if they're going to run the ball. Depending, again, I want to see how bad this weather is tonight too. I do. I want to see how bad the weather is. I'll tell you, man, what Jalen Hurts, if they give him 10 carries or 15 carries tonight, I'm not concerned about his 300 yards passing. If he has 75 yards rushing again, and he's able to get that going tonight in the rain, that will be a hard night for Kansas City. But I don't believe they're going to do that. Okay? I just don't. They haven't. Now, will they unveil it tonight? It's kind of, you know what? Again, that's an opinion. People are saying they will. Okay, well, they haven't. It's not unleashing Swift. It's unleashing Hurts. Swift doesn't scare me. Swift is here. Of all the offensive guys in that huddle, Hurts, Brown, Devontae, Swift. He's the last guy in the room. He doesn't concern me. You want to play 20-20 ball with Swift? Have at it. They're one of the best teams in the NFL when it comes to giving up points and points allowed. They're better than they were in Super Bowl 57. Can you say that? You can't. You're not. You're not better than you. You know what's funny? Every show that I listen to, you won't address that. You're not better of a unit than you were in Super Bowl 57. You're not. You're not as good a defense. I didn't say your offense wasn't great. I didn't say that. I said as a unit. As a unit, do you think your defense right now is as good as that defense that went against Mahomes in Super Bowl 57? Yes or no? You want to see delusion? Watch this. You're basically the same when you're last in pass defense compared to when you were second, I think, or first in pass defense. You think you're a better unit. Yes, Sills, because we're number one. I know you run defense, but you're going against the best passer in the game and maybe a generational talent. Hey, I wonder how you would look at this if that was Brady playing against you and he was 28 years old. If you would think the same. You haven't beat him. It's in Kansas City. All you can do is sit here and speculate. He's done it. You get extra credit for having accomplished and accomplishing the task. As my friend Tone says, you don't get credit for showing up to the exam. He gets the extra credit for finishing the exam. What are we talking about here? Speculation? I am not a fortune teller. I don't do my show on speculating and fortune telling. I talk to you about what teams are right this day, going into a game. Tomorrow, we'll analyze the game on what happened and what did not happen. That's, in my opinion, how I do my show. That's why when you start giving guys, and you hear people talking about Nick Sirianni being the best coach in the NFC, when there's multiple coaches in the NFC that have won Super Bowls and have been to Super Bowls, and you talk about a guy with a record who takes the test but hasn't passed it, and all you talk to me about is people not finishing the assignment, is asinine. I talk in reality here to you. It's not hating. I don't care. I don't know Nick Sirianni from a can of paint. I don't really give a shit. I really don't give a shit about Patrick Mahomes, Andy. I tell you what I see. You see something different. That's fine. I see a guy that is on his way to putting himself. Patrick Mahomes doesn't compare himself to Jalen Hurts. He compares himself to history. He's chasing history, not Jalen Hurts. Hurts is chasing Mahomes. You get that and you understand. Just like Trevor Lawrence is chasing Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, all of them are chasing Mahomes. He ain't chasing them. That guy's at a different level right now. He is chasing history. That's why when you get in a game with a guy like that, you got to play 60 minutes of great ball against him. You can't have shitty plays and special teams. You can't have bad play calling anywhere in the game. You can't have receivers running in or DBs running in another. You can't have bad coordinators on defense. All of that shit has to play out. And by the way, for the record, Patrick Mahomes has the perfect Camelot. He's got a. So let me ask you this. Do you think of generational talent like Patrick Mahomes is going to play better with a better defense than what he did in the Super Bowl against better teams? Why wouldn't you think that? So I like how people are assuming that Jalen's going to play better than he did in the Super Bowl, but Mahomes isn't going to play better also. Well, I'll take Mahomes is better at home. Everything that I told, hey, by the way, I think it is a gigantic task to go in there for anybody. This isn't really an Eagle thing. This is teams in the league going in there. You're. I know you're homers. I know you love it, and I know you love your team. But I think you've got quite a task tonight. My guy's up for the task. I'm not saying he's not. But there have been a lot of people. 55 opponents have gone into Arrowhead. And 45 have come out losers. And no one's ever beaten him in November. Could you be the first? Absolutely. I started looking at over the weekend how great they are at home. More points, less surrendered. He's quarterback rating is off the charts at home. He's almost unbeatable there. It's like Brady up at Gillette. Didn't Brady have like some sort of crazy number 2 in like December or November where he didn't get beat up there for, I thought it was like the Ravens that went up there, or the Colts that went up there one year and stopped the streak. Okay. Remember you said Kansas City won't make it back? I did say that. They've proven me wrong. They're 7-2. By the way, we're still halfway through the race, Prince. I'm talking about November 20th, tonight. That has nothing to do with February. I said tonight. We are talking about November 10th, Prince, not February 14th. That's 4 months from now, guy. Wake me up when it's February. It's November 20th, tonight, not February 14th. Wake me up when it's February. And then we'll debate it then. But tonight, two best teams, 15-3 going into it tonight against one another, combined. Future Hall of Famers across the board. I think it's pretty remarkable that Andy Reid has so much on both sides of the ball. Andy Reid has 2 Hall of Famers that he drafted. And the Kelsey brothers. It's crazy great. It's crazy great. Yeah, hey, don't worry about it, my friend. Prince likes to bring up dumb shit. That's 8 months from now. I'm talking about November 20th, tonight, Monday Night Football. He's talking about some bullshit in February. Congratulations to you, kid. Why don't you give me some Powerball numbers, too, in February. Hopefully we'll land on them, too. Dumb. Tonight. Let's talk tomorrow? Absolutely. This is about a heavyweight fight tonight. Against the champ. Yeah. That's exactly what this is. This is the heavyweight champ. You're fighting the champ. You're fighting the dynasty in the NFL tonight. You're not a dynasty. One title is not a dynasty. Okay? Kansas City is on the brink of a dynasty. My boy, backpedaling skills are insane, so you should have played DB. Hey, thanks for the $5. Backpedaling? Because it's November 20th instead of February 14th. I've just wasted 2 seconds of my life I'll never get back. And the Eagles go into this game underdogs, where they were favored in Super Bowl 57. Even the guys in Vegas and Atlantic City see you're not the same team, but not you. I'm not saying they're going to win, but Hurts feels more prepared as a passer this year, especially in tight games late. Do I feel more confident in Jalen Hurts' passing game this year than I did a year ago? I'd be a fool to say no, I don't. I do. I do. But you had a better run game last year, too, to kind of compensate for that, too, to get some more balance in there. I think they've tried to become more balanced. But do I feel more confident that Jalen is improving in the passing game? Like, you really want to get into a shootout with Patrick Mahomes at home Is that what you're saying you want to do? You want to get into a throwing match with him, and you don't want to go against the one thing that Kansas City doesn't do very well, and that's run defense. You play right into an L. You play right into an L when you do that. Kansas City wants you in a throwing game. They don't want you to do the number one thing that you should do in this game tonight. Run the fucking ball, dude. You should have 45 attempts tonight. Kansas City can't stop it. In their losses, they've averaged 100 and almost 40 yards a game in yards allowed. It's the way to keep the ball out of his hands. It's the way to keep him on the sidelines. And it's a way for you to be a dominant football team on the road. To me, when I play in a place like Kansas City or Lambeau, I'm not looking to get into a shootout, dude. Not with a guy who's as accomplished as that guy is and plays as well as he does at home. I'm not sure I've ever seen a quarterback outside of Tom Brady have a better home record than what Mahomes does. He is almost unbeatable there. You know, you guys throw all your bullshit records at me. At least that guy's got Super Bowl titles and Super Bowl MVPs wrapped around him. And I don't, you know what? And I can guarantee you there's a lot of people that are a little bent with what I'm saying because you know why? I'm telling you the truth. That guy versus anybody else in the league, it's not a Jalen Hurts thing. Again, I don't give a shit if it's Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. It doesn't matter. It really is not a Hurts thing. This is about Mahomes. Like it was never about, well, Brady and Manning were great. What made Manning on Tom Brady's level? When he won a Super Bowl, not with all the yards he threw up. You know what happened in that battle? Once it became a factor that Tom Brady was going to continue to win Super. Think about this too. Let me show you the same exact thing. You are Peyton Manning. You have all the talent that Manning had. And he won one Super Bowl. And I keep bringing this stat up to you all the time. All the skilled people that they had, only Gronk. It's the same formula. Shitty receivers, great tight end, great O-line, and a spectacular quarterback. There was no Hall of Fame wideouts in New England. You had Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Dallas Clark, the tight end, Edgerrin James, Marshall Faulk. Look at the talent that Peyton Manning had, like you guys. And yet he couldn't beat Brady. Or he couldn't outperform Brady in Super Bowls. Randy Moss never won a fucking Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Stop with Randy Moss. He never won a Super Bowl with him. He didn't have any Hall of Fame talent when he was winning those Super Bowls except for Gronk. And that skilled position sets. We're no wide receivers up there that are going to Canton. It's the same formula in Kansas City. They're duplicating exactly how Brady won Super Bowls in New England and Kansas City. A decent run game, really good O-line, spectacular tight end, and a bunch of guys at wide out. Didn't Deion Branch win an MVP? Who the fuck is Deion Branch? Desmond Howard won an MVP. Who's Deion Branch? He tried to go to Seattle and he bombed. Who's Deion Branch? I haven't heard that name, Deion Branch, in 20 years. Okay? So again, end of the day, this is not about a Hurts. This is more about Mahomes tonight at home and how much I think they got better since this. I think they've gotten better. And you know what? As I sat over the weekend and I'm looking at it, I do not believe the Eagles got better since Super Bowl 57. You're not better. You're trying to convince yourself you are. As a unit, Kansas City got better. You did not get better. You got cheaper. Now, again, Carter's a factor. Absolutely. You got better there. But as a unit, you didn't get better than Kansas City. Anybody who says that they improve, and that defense has improved to being a top 5 unit now, and they're one of the best teams in points allowed. I don't know what you're talking about here. That's not who that team was a year ago. Facts. And they play in the AFC. And you know what's crazy about tonight? If you lose, Detroit and you are tied for home field advantage in the NFC. That's what's on the line tonight for the Eagles tonight. You'll be tied with the Lions. Okay? RTF goes top 5 defense, but they haven't played us. No, but the Commanders have, and so have the Jets. And this is a different guy, and it's at home in Kansas City. What have I said here? Like I said, look at this. Eagles have to face a quarterback who's 45-10 at home. He's 10-0 in November. Andy Reid is 12-3 coming off of bye since he's been the KC head coach. Teams that have won the Super Bowl in rematches are 8-2. The Chiefs' defense are top 5 in yards per game, points allowed, and have only given up 15 touchdowns this season so far. Where have they gotten better? Again, the only thing, and by the way, here, maybe I should go here too. Do I think that the Philadelphia Eagles have the capacity to beat them in Kansas City? Absolutely. But I don't think you're going to go there and do the right thing. I think this is where you got outcoached again. This is going to come down to philosophy and game planning tonight, and you're going to have the wrong game plan tonight. Because if you don't run the ball more than you throw it, you're going to lose. And I think they're going to do that. You know why? Because this is kind of what you did do and what you are doing. Hurts is not a factor in that run game. He's not. Now, will he be tonight? If they do, obviously, that changes the – in that Super Bowl, you had 10 designed run plays in the first half that netted 52 yards. You haven't done that this year. Do they do it tonight coming off a bye, thinking the kid, and do they throw his ass out there? Here's something else you got to remember. He's been banged up all year. You really want to put him in a no-holds-bar and put him in the position tonight, all chips in tonight, and run that guy 18 times tonight against one of the top units in the league. And think about preserving that guy, which you've been trying to do all year before you get down to Dallas. You've also got to look at that. At what expense tonight are you going to run him? Because now you're in a position, philosophy-wise, we've been trying to protect him. You see it too. You know they've been trying to protect him all year. Are they going to put all their chips on the line tonight and push everything in tonight in play calling and run Hurts tonight? I think he's got to run 15, 16 times tonight to win this ball game. Swift doesn't scare me. I don't give a shit about him. I really don't. I do not. Okay, my fear is Hurts on 3rd and 11, getting in the perimeter and then not setting the edge, because that's where he breaks your back. And then you have to keep backers at home. He's not running. I don't fear their run game. Swift is not a dynamic runner. He's a versatile back. I don't fear Pacheco. They're kind of the same guy. There's really no power backs in this game except for Jalen Hurts. Okay? Swift is a top 5 back. Swift built his yardage on 2 games. He's built his yardage on 2 games. The rest of them have been decent. I wouldn't say great. 2 games. The rest of them, those were 2 months ago. Okay? And Hurts doesn't, again, like I said, the number 1 running back on the Philadelphia Eagles that frightens me the most is your quarterback. He's the one. I do think that Jalen is getting into the end zone more. He's got 10 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Okay? That's 2 great games. I know. You've played 10. I get it. You've played 9, excuse me. Are you 8-1? So you're playing your 10th game tonight. Okay. So you've got 2 good games. Congratulations. Doesn't make a season. And again, that's not consistent. You run the ball tonight, you win the game. I don't think you will. I don't think you're going to. Hey, Prince, I'm sorry you don't like what I said. I'm not here whether you like it or not. I don't really care. Has no bearing on me whether you like my take, my spin. All I'm doing is spitting out what the Kansas City Chiefs have done since Super Bowl 57. And quite frankly, they've gotten better. They're incredible at home. Mahomes and the numbers even dictate that they're better at home this year too. And they're fighting history right now. They're not fighting you. They're playing for history. You're fighting to be in their league. And you think you're in their league. Well, you're one of the better teams, but that doesn't put you in their league until you beat them. That goes across the board for everyone. Again, you think I'm picking on the Eagles tonight. I'm not picking on the Eagles. You're just the other 31 teams. Whether your record is 8-1 or 7-3, it really doesn't matter to me. You see, in the NFL, it's about winning the last game of the season in February. Nothing more, nothing less. The records don't matter except for that. Quarterbacks, coaches, we're all gauged on what you do in the month of January and February. Outside of that, you're Dak Prescott and you're Kirk Cousins. Or hey, you know what's crazy? That number I saw with Brock Purdy. Here, check this out. So Brock Purdy has played, what is it now? Here it is. So Brock Purdy has played 15 NFL games. He's 12-3 as a starter. He's now leading the NFL in completion percentage at 70.2. He was absolutely almost flawless. And this year he's got 26-62 and 18 touchdowns and 5 picks. And I keep hearing people throwing game manager around. 12-3. He's 18-5, and he's leading the NFL in completion percentage. Leading the league in completion percentage and having a 158 quarterback rating is not a game manager. Now, you'll go like this. Sills, take Trent Williams off the field. I get it. Take Lane Johnson off the field. You see, the guy in Kansas City, you could take anybody off the field, and he's going to win because he does. That's the magic of him and Brady. Didn't really matter who they played with because they won no matter who was on the field. Edelman, Welker, Deion Branch, Lamar, what was his name? Lamar White? Is that was his name? I forget that kid, that running back they had back in the day. I mean, Sony Michel. Didn't matter who they had. Aaron Hernandez. Professor Sills, is the Eagle style of defense that, regardless of the quarterback, they're going to put up numbers? What's the difference between 400 passing yards from Howell versus 400 from Mahomes in a win? I think Mahomes gets the ball in the end zone. Well, it's a good question. What's the difference between 400 yards from Howell and 400 yards from Mahomes? The difference is, I think it's Kansas City's defense. Do you understand? I don't think you guys understand what I'm saying here. And I want to make sure you get it. If the Eagles run the ball 48 times, they probably win the game. But I don't think you are. I do not believe you are. You're not going to want to play that style, even though it looks like it's inclement weather tonight. You run the ball 38 times tonight, 38 to 40 times, you're going to win. But I don't believe you will. And there'll be a turnover in the game. See, here's the difference, too. How many turnovers did they have in those two wins versus you? Super Bowl, I don't believe they had any turnovers, Kansas City. And how many did they have any in that 21 game? I don't know if they had any turnovers in that game as well. Okay? Brian Johnson is brain dead. No, he's not. I think he's actually getting better. Mahomes threw one pick in 21. And, okay, so there's been one pick in 8 quarters. Okay? Hurts will have a pick 6. I do not believe that. I do not believe that. The Eagles are going to get beat on defense. They're not going to get beat because of their offense again. This is no. You're not going to get beat because of your offense. You may get beat because of your offensive philosophy, but you're not going to get beat because of that offense. That offense is going to be, look, the Eagles' talent alone. Here, I'll put this out there to you. And I'm gonna show you something here that's going to be even more insane. Mulata, all-pro, right tackle. He'll make it this year, the Pro Bowl. Mulata. I think that Landon Dickerson will be an alternate. Second team all-pro, Dickerson. Your center's going to the Pro Bowl. He'll be the starter, Kelsey. Pro Bowler. Right guard, obviously a hole. Right tackle, Pro Bowl. You have 4 Pro Bowl players on your O-line, and you're not going to fucking run the ball tonight? What's wrong with you? Name me another football team in the league that's got 4 Pro Bowlers out of 5 guys who won't run the ball anymore. Name me one. You got 4 Pro Bowlers. 4. 4 of the best in the sport. Last year you had 5 Pro Bowl talented guys. There isn't a team. You got a Pro Bowl wideout. Your quarterback's a Pro Bowler. Here's who Kansas City has. 1 Pro Bowl quarterback, 1 Pro Bowl guard, probably the Pro Bowl center, and tight end. You got 7 of your 11. Devontae will be an alternate or second team Pro Bowl. AJ, Pro Bowl. 4 guys in the O-line. You got 7 guys with your quarterback. And for you to have 4 offensive line Pro Bowlers and you don't run the ball 38 times versus a team that can't stop the run, if that happens, that's when you kill verbally Brian Johnson Tuesday morning. Because Kansas City can't stop the run. They cannot stop the run. Okay? Sil says, just because you say it doesn't make it true. What? All the things I pointed out about who Kansas City, you just don't like who Kansas City is. Because the Eagles aren't Kansas City. And they haven't accomplished what they've accomplished in 5 years. It's okay to be jealous. That's through hard work, great evaluating, and winning. You see, they passed the test. You take the test. There's a difference. Again, I'm not predicting. I am predicting. I don't believe you're going to run it. And I don't mean run it with Swift. I'm talking run it with Hurts. Hurts is the key tonight in the run game. It's not Swift. You think giving Swift the ball 28 times is going to be the way you're going to beat them? You're wrong. You're wrong. You were 3 points away from beating them. How many times did Jalen run in that Super Bowl? How many carries did he have? How many carries? Sills is pretty elite to you? He's played 15 games. How could he be elite? He's played 15 ball games. I think he's really good. Elite? Holy shit. Let's get through a 16 games or 17 game season before we start talking about it. Okay? How many rushing attempts did he have in that Super Bowl? 14, 15? Did he have in that game? See, I've heard people in the morning over on WIP, and I hear all this shit like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, we're going to run the ball more, we're going to do this, we're going to establish our game, we're going to be able to complete, we're going to get home. And Patrick Mahomes has been sacked 12 times. That's wishful thinking until you apply it tonight. Why in the world would you think you're going to get home when they're going to play pitch? Get this. How are you getting home with sacks tonight when you're 10 yards off the ball against Patrick Mahomes? Explain that one to me. How are you getting sacks when you're 10 yards off the ball on your corners? Explain that. Help me on that one. Explain that. They don't need to see Carter. 1, 2, 3, throw. Like Sam Howell. 1, 2, 3, throw. 1, 2, 3, throw. 1, 2, 3, throw. When the guy brings him up, Kelsey down the seam, over the top, 72-yard TD. That's what they're going to do. So wait a minute. You're going to play 10 yards off the ball on a guy who's got one of the quickest releases in the league and has only been sacked 12 times. And you guys think you're getting 2-3 sacks tonight. I don't know how and where you see that. Now, Dirty D goes, let's hope we see the D show up like they did for the Dolphins. Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw to spots. Tua is a spot passer. He throws to spots. He doesn't have an arm. This guy is ambidextrous. I've seen this guy throw 25-yard passes left-handed. There is one quarterback in National Football League, Jimmy Johnson says it's not tradable. And it's the guy in Kansas City. He's like, you can't trade for a guy like that. You would never if you couldn't give the Kansas City Chiefs 5 first-rounders for him. He's untradeable. That guy is untradeable. He's the only player I've ever seen at that position that is untradeable. And you're going to allow that guy to play pitch and catch. Hey, by the way, get this. This is not something that is a theory. This is what you do. Sam Howell threw for almost 800 yards on you. Doing that with the shittiest O-line. Difference is, that guy had 40 sacks coming into that game versus you. This guy's got 12. You run the ball, you win. You don't? They'll beat you by 10. You have 4 Pro Bowlers in 2023 in your O-line. You better utilize them. What good has Matt Patricia done? Look, no. The D is worse because of the inexperience, the injuries, and the cheapness in the offseason. Linebackers, my friend, you got a linebacker starting that you cut and then pulled off the fucking practice squad team starting. So I'm a little nervous about Dallas now. Not a chance. Putting Jimmy in the Ring of Honor. I'll talk about that later. Hey, guys, are you crazy? Are you really going to sit here, if you're Philadelphia Eagle fans, worrying about the Cowboys after the Giants and the Carolina Panther game? You can't be real. You cannot be real. Okay? You can't be real. The win by the Cowboys over the Carolina Panthers? Watch this. I have no different opinion about them. I think they're the worst 7-3 team in the league. Have they beaten a team with a 500 or a 500 or better team this year? Have they beat a team above 500? The Eagles, Chiefs, Niners, they live by that. They don't feed off the bottom dwellers and then jump up off the top of the bottom of the lake and go, hey, look at us, we're back. Dude, no, you're not. You're roadkill. The Cowboys are roadkill. That's playing great. Against the Giants and the Panthers. So the Giants, wait, the Cowboys haven't played against a 500 or better team or beaten a 500 or better team. And I'm supposed to sit here after Carolina and go, hey, Cowboys are back. Eagle fans, it's you and the other guy on the West Coast. And maybe Detroit. Maybe. I don't know yet. I saw the Ravens put the whooping stick on them. Jalen had 15 carries for 70 yards and three TDs running. Just answering one question you asked. He does that in that game tonight. They'll win that game tonight handily. I don't give a shit what his passing numbers are. He does 15 carries for 70 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's the remedy on beating that team. KC can't stop the run. You're right. We don't stand a chance tonight against Kansas City. It's been a great season. You can put Prince's up there. I want to read it because he spends the money and he spends the time and he comes here every day, and I appreciate him. It's been a great season, guys. Maybe next year we can get over the hill. Hey, congratulations to you, Prince. Sorry you gave up on your season already. I'm talking about November 20th tonight. He's putting all his eggs in one basket with that super chat there. His super chat, he put his whole season into tonight. You see what he did? His whole season comes down to tonight. I'm talking to you about Kansas City on November 20th. Not about, once again, hey, dude, you got to make your mind up. Either you're going to talk about February 14th or you're going to talk about November 20th. Please pick one. I'm confused. I mean, I'm a little confused, dude. First, you want to talk about November 20th. Or you don't want to talk about November 20th. You want to talk about February 14th. Now you want to talk about the season being over tonight if we have no chance to win. I'm confused. I'm completely confused. So your season's over if you lose tonight? Who said that? The media have been juicing the Cowboy fans and trolls for ratings. Hey, Philadelphia, those guys, in my opinion, winning against Carolina, didn't Carolina have them down to one score in the fourth quarter before they pulled away? How about Micah Parsons crowing and the way he was crowing about the way Michael Parsons, what do you get? 2.5 sacks against Carolina, the shittiest O-line. I've never seen a team. You know what it's like doing? They like giving the Cowboys love after, like, you find like one of those like squirrels on the side of the road and you get to run the squirrel over again. You say, hey, I killed it. And you get to kill something twice. It's already dead. Yeah, but I killed it. Yeah, no, it was dead 2 weeks ago. Yeah, but I killed it. No. Dude, the Giants and the Panthers are going to be picking at the top of the draft. It's sarcasm. Oh, really? Okay. Hey, congratulations to you, Bob Hope. I say you're no hope, but hey, you want to be Dave Chappelle and you want to be all that. Congratulations to you, man. There he is, LJ Capel. LJ Chappelle. Hey, LJ Chappelle was being sarcastic. Really? You see, you have to understand something about me, homie. Just to hook you up here, okay? I know you're being sarcastic. I'm not one of them guys that take everything literally because I don't talk literally. I don't do any of that shit. Hey, you said this, and I'm holding you to this. You said that's not how I work. Did I say that? I may have forgotten it. I said that? Really? Shit, man, my wife reminded me. Hey, my wife reminded me the other day. She goes, hey, man. She goes, have you ever been to Arkansas? I go, I've never been to Arkansas in my life. She went like this. Jesus criminy, man. You played against the Razorbacks when you were younger. When you went to Arizona, when you went to Arkansas. And I go, oh, yeah. You could have put me in the electric chair and I would have said, I've never been to Arkansas in my life. Yeah. Right? Sills, did ESPN get informed about women's rugby refs and the fix being on? Joey B. Joey B, how do you know this? Joey B, how do you know this? Okay, I'm going to tell you guys something here. My guy Tone's going to be at the bottom of the hour here. Don't worry, you guys are going to feel good in a minute here. Tone's coming up here at the bottom of the hour. Juice you guys back all up for tonight. Okay, he'll make you feel better. Promise you, I know he will. Okay, I'm counting on it. Because I know some of you are probably a little butthurt right now, but it's all right. He'll make you feel better. Okay, that's coming up here. But I have to confess something here. Yeah, man, I almost got thrown out of a rugby match on Sunday because these people at this rugby event my daughter was at with her college, they fixed the game. And they were fixing it so bad that I even called the athletic director from the university. And one of the refs kind of said something to me. And I said, listen here, guy, I'm going to break glass here in a minute. You better not talk to me like that and go sit your ass down before you get slapped. And I shouldn't do that. And I know better than that. Okay? I know better than that. Joey, Dak barely had 200 yards against a team that was 1-9. I know, death row, stupid. Hey, Joey, hang on, Joey. I was like this. The guy goes, how does that help? Because I was screaming at the ref like I don't usually do. He goes, how does that help? I go, Aunt Betty, I'm sorry, but I did do this. Shut the fuck up. And the guy goes like this, how does that help? And I went, shut the fuck up. And he goes like this, well, you can go. And I go like this, I'll tell you what. You move me over there, I'll give you my Hummer. Oh, my wife was screaming too, so they got a full taste of the Sileos, man. We were on full display. It was one of the most egregious things I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never seen a sporting event rigged like that. And when you see your kid crying when she walks off the field as the captain and they rigged the game and you lose 2-0 because they gave him a kick, I blew a gasket. I won't lie, man. I blew a gasket. The Cowboys keep sitting Dak in the fourth quarter. I wonder how he will fare when he actually has to play one. What a tomato. Hey, no, I mean, the Cowboys are the worst 7-3 team on the planet, man. Yeah, no, I should have controlled myself better. I was a little unruly. Somebody said something to me, like, somebody goes, she told my daughter, your father's obnoxious. I went, thank you. I said, who said that? And she goes like, and she came over, she goes, well, so you told my daughter she doesn't represent her team good as a captain. Then you told her father that he's obnoxious. Why don't you go sit the fuck down? I was on fire, man. And by the way, I hate being that guy. JB, I hate being that guy, but I've never seen anything like it. I came unglued. Sills, you on Prozac now? I should be. Holy cow, man. It was really not good. I have to control. Yeah, but you got to remember something. This is why I tell you, if I had to do it all over again, I'd have cut my penis off, man. Having a kid, and I love her to death. I love her, and I'm so grateful for her. But, boy, your kids make you vulnerable, man. Holy cow. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anybody cheat so bad. So I've got to take a time out here, man. JP, thanks a lot. Now I feel shitty. Here's the winners. That's right. It's a football Monday from our great friends at Hooters. You get an opportunity to win yourself those gift certificates. We'll start it up tomorrow. Jesse, thank you very much from California for you winning those gift certificates. And Raymond from PA, congratulations to you here on a football Monday. Our friend Tone will join us at the bottom of the hour. Also, we will look at week 11 of the National Football League. We're going to go more deeper into this game tonight. I'm telling you, man, if you don't run the ball tonight and it's with Hurts, I don't think you win this game. You run the ball, you win it. Hit the like button. Don't forget also our great friends at Hooters. It is Happy Wingsgiving from our friends at Hooters. Through the month of November, there's going to be a special each and every single day, like the Cold Coors Light drafts, $2.99, 25 cents of each purchase will go towards a local charity. The calendars are out, 2024 Hooter calendars. Folks, I'm telling you, there's $100 in coupons inside. Go to northeasthooters.com to find those locations nearest you. Seafood Sundays, half price off, stone crabs, snow crabs, buffalo, shrimp. Military Mondays, 20% off. Wing Wednesdays, $19.83, all you can eat. Kids eat for free on Saturdays. That's northeasthooters.com, northeasthooters.com. And when you roll in, do me a favor, tell them Big Sil sent you.
Football and Hooters, the perfect pair.